AfterBuzzers, you are watching the AfterBuzz TV show for Shameless, Season 6, Episode 11, Sleep No More. We'll talk about Ian and Lip getting canned, Debbie dropping her baby, and Frank putting the kill on Sean. Stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
There's the song we love to hear every week. Hey guys, I'm Hayley Clover, your host, joined by my co-host today, JJ and Phil.
Hi guys.
What's up? Welcome back, JJ.
Thank you. I missed you guys so much last week.
We missed you. We're always glad to have you back.
Colorado was awesome, but I missed this so much. It was a great episode.
Yeah, you look like you had fun. Lots of skiing.
Yeah.
Jealous. And Joyce is celebrating Easter, as I'm sure some of you are as well, so happy Easter to all of you. Lots to talk about tonight, guys. The end got me the most. All the previews for next week, I'm like, oh.
All the good stuff.
All the good stuff.
Happiness.
Is it?
Not so happy.
If you're sadistic.
I don't know if I can handle this turn that they might be throwing our way.
So we'll get into that. Obviously, we're talking about Frank and Sean and that possible debacle. But let's talk about Ian and Lip first. Obviously, we said they both got fired today.
Well, one got arrested.
One got arrested and fired. One just got fired.
Yes.
Let's talk about Ian first.
You know, things were going so well, and you know, it's one of those things that Ian wanted to be honest, and he was pushed in that direction of, you know, just lie. No one's going to find out, and they found out quite easily on the first day. It's not like he didn't even get to the drinks with the buddies. So,
Yeah, he didn't even get through his whole shift.
Yeah, I thought he was at least going to get to do it a little bit longer before this came out. And then I thought maybe, like you said, he'd be so good that they'd be okay with it. I was hoping.
Right.
Optimistic, I guess. But yeah, it was crushing because it was nice to see him really doing something that he loves and just to have things going right for him. And, you know, he had his cute little lunch from his man. And
Oh, it was so
yeah,
cool. And he's going to be so pissed at Caleb because he was the one that was, you know, telling him to lie. He's going to be so upset with him.
Do you think it would have worked if he was up front, or because I thought his comeback was pretty good about, hey, you know, like on a 26 call, I know exactly what to do, and so, you know, there was thought given there, and her reasoning was, I can't trust you. So perhaps if he was up front, I wonder if it could have worked out.
Maybe.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
she
wondered
did
that
still
too.
say we don't hire people with mental, you know, a history of mental illness for a reason. And like you said, he had that good comeback, but I don't know if they would have even given him a chance if they saw that on his certification.
Yeah, I don't know.
It
Sucks. I mean, I guess, do you understand what she's saying too? Or do you think it's total bullshit that he doesn't even get the chance because of what he went through?
Well, you know, ironically, Deb's kind of... Deb said the whole thing like she's being discriminated against, and Lip said, you know, well, you chose this. Like, you can't be discriminated for something that you chose to do. And so with this, you know, he didn't choose the bipolar disease, but he did check himself voluntarily. And, I mean, it's one of those, does that speak more versus, like, if you involuntarily had to go?
I think so.
I do too, yeah. I definitely think since he's being responsible about it and he's on the meds and like you said, he checked himself in. Yeah, I feel like, I don't know. I just feel like they should give him a chance. I mean, I understand given the line of work, but I just feel like there's got to be, I mean, that stinks if that's really his passion and what he wants to do and now he's not given a chance to do it because I just think that's going to make a downward spiral. I just feel like couldn't there be something, some part of the job, some aspect he could fit in there, you know?
Right,
just
or like we said, why not give him a shot for, you know, and see what he's doing. Obviously, they don't want him to all of a sudden have a relapse and it be with that one patient that all of a sudden it just goes wrong and he, you know, God forbid, kills them or whatever. So, yeah, it's just so hard because we love him so much and I love seeing him have a career and he was going to make some money and it was just, you know, something that I wanted to see him do.
Yeah, I mean, the worst part of, you know, everyone else's actions, they had a choice, right? Yeah, Lip, as we talk about him, he made a terrible decision, but it was his choice, whereas this, it's not really Ian's choice. And that's what hurts the most is that, you know, he never had a shot to begin with.
Right.
It was damned if you did, damned if you didn't.
And another thing, sadly, kind of, you know, from his parents. You know, it's like they can't catch a break from their parents. I know it's genetic. It's just sad because it's like no one's there. His parents aren't there to help him with it, but then he's left dealing with what he's been given, and that's heartbreaking for him, I think.
Right. Yeah, I think it is. And I guess we'll see where he, whether he tries to win his job back next week or if he totally gives up and, like you said, starts a little downward spiral. I mean, it's the last episode, so I don't know whether they're going to take it much further or see what happens next season. So, yeah.
Indeed.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed. And then we have Lip, who's also getting canned from his job for, reaching the part of his downward spiral because he's totally on one. We see him drinking again, and he just loses it. I mean, he lost it.
Who do you think's in the right, Lip or Ewan?
Neither.
Interesting.
There's that fly again. It's going in my mouth at one point today. I just know it. I don't think Lip has the right to embarrass him or disrespect him in class and come in wasted. I think that's, not professional at all. I think it's
especially after
so
that
immature.
Talk.
Exactly. I think it's so immature. Well, that's the talk that set him off because he hated that he felt like he didn't care about him anymore. But you could still see Professor Ewan after that talk was so upset that he had to just say that to Lip because he really does, I think, care about Lip. I think he wanted to be somewhat of a father figure or give him advice and stuff, but then it did kind of set him back from getting his work done, like the professor's work, because Lip wasn't doing it all of a sudden. But at the same time... did you get it? Mm-hmm. Wait, you got it?
Yes. You guys can keep talking.
Kill it?
Oh, you're like the Karate Kid, though.
You did get it!
All right, for those of you on audio wondering what the hell happened, I killed a fly. Killed a fly, everybody.
Oh my god, it was huge, Phil. You just caught that with your hand? Wow, you're some kind of ninja.
All right. But I did feel for Lip. Well, because especially, like, hearing when Fiona called him and she was so happy that Frank put up the money, obviously, and he had that other line earlier where he said, can you pay for my tuition? And no one's helped him out with his tuition. He's been fighting individually for his own path in life. And so it must have been heartbreaking, and I think Ewan does represent a father figure to Lip, and he's just been he's missed that his whole life. He's never had a mother, he's never had a father.
Right.
And so, to now be just so distant from the one person that he kind of did look up to. But I do think Ewan was, he kind of did give him good advice. It just wasn't what he was ready to hear, and he's never had that kind of a talk from an authority figure.
Sure.
In Lip's defense, though, I also feel like Ewan totally took advantage of him. I mean, he published his words, and he's let him do all of his work for him without, and so I kind of get also in the sense where Lip feels like he's doing the same kind of asshole things that Frank does, and that it's just all about him and, making himself still look whatever's best for him and going to make him skate by so he can look good, but then go back and drink. And yeah, so I get where Lip's seeing the parallel between him and his father at this point, and then the anger is just coming out.
Sure. Yeah, I understand that. I think it all just comes down to Lip needed to not be such an immature dumbass, though. He needed to keep his job. He needed to keep his scholarship. He needs to stay in school, and he just fucked it all up.
And I thought, because when this episode first started out, I thought, oh, great, he is going to ruin it all. But then when he's at the alibi and he's studying and doing his stuff, and going, like, he's like, no, I can't F this up,
Right.
So I thought, okay, good. He's not going to lose all that.
Right.
And then it went to shit.
Yeah, I was like, damn it.
Yeah, he's too reactionary.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Go get drunk, but don't go to class.
Yeah, and then don't bash the car and all this stuff.
Well, right. So now he's bashed the car
Yeah.
in and gets caught and arrested. And, we see in the next episode he is in jail. I mean, I don't even know. They can't bail him out. They have no money. I don't know.
Helene's not going to come to the rescue.
No. I
That'd
think
be
she-
the
That would be
weirdest
awesome,
twist.
though.
Right? No, I think she's done.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah, I really feel bad for but the problem is these were his choices.
Well, right.
Yeah.
And he needs to be held responsible, but at the same time, you still don't want him to. You know what line really got me was when Professor Ewan said, "And I was your ticket to get out of the gutter." and you just
yeah, but here's the thing: he held
because
that.
it was so true though.
Ewan's held that over his head too much, though. Again, there's no one person can help make your career, but there's no one person that can really stop it. And he was on that path, and it would have been fine for him to say, all these narcissistic asshole alcoholics and blah blah blah, but then he takes that drink, thereby just continuing the cycle.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's just just learn from their mistakes. Don't do it.
Well, we'll get into predictions. Think about predictions for those two, Ian and Lip, because I'm sure we can think of some.
Hopefully.
There's literally, it's an open storyline now. It's like, where do they go? So yeah, tweet us your questions. Just keep commenting on YouTube. We'd love to hear your comments. So let's talk about Debbie a little bit. And that, that cringeworthy moment.
Oh my gosh. We lost it here when that happened.
JJ and I were like covering our eyes because I didn't even want to see it. Luckily, thank God they didn't show it. It was just the sound, which even was like maybe worse. Yeah. I don't know.
I could talk about it more openly now, knowing that the kid's kind of okay now.
Okay.
He's probably gonna have some brain. He's probably gonna lose a couple of IQ points. However, I thought the worst of the worst.
I did too.
When that happened.
Like
I did too.
It could have broken its nose. It could have.
I thought neck. I thought, just paralyze the baby. I thought, oh no, how can Shameless go there now? We just have this beautiful baby, and then they're gonna, yeah. So yeah, thank goodness they didn't do that.
Yeah. But nonetheless, in the moment, it was unpleasant to watch.
And we have the subtitles, and all it was thud.
Yeah. Oh, you're so right. That made it so much worse.
How would I can only imagine, just as a side note, like the guy who's writing out the subtitles of like, do I put baby crashes? Like, what do I put?
Yeah, do you think he makes that up?
There's someone in charge.
Right, or they didn't tell him exactly what to write. You think he has to like ad-lib those parts?
Yes.
That's a big job.
I mean, I'm not a subtitle expert.
That's a lot of responsibility. So I feel bad for Debbie in this situation, that she feels like she can't ask anyone for help, and that she has to do all of this on her own, even though the family is now clearly saying, "Let me hold Francis, let me hold the baby, let me help."
Franny, she's now called.
Franny. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's just so... I just still can't get over the fact that she named her Franny after Frank, and now we've got all this shit going on. It's like, oh, God. But yeah, so I feel bad that she feels like she doesn't have anyone to help, even though they are there. She just doesn't... I don't think she wants to get used to them helping, and then all of a sudden them being like, well, we can't help you. We're not going to give you money. Like, it was your choice.
Yeah, and I think she's, just defiant, like... You guys didn't want me to have this baby. I can do this on my own. Kind of it's me and the baby now. I think she's trying to have that kind of separation from them as well.
And maybe doesn't even want to feel like she's failed because she did say, I can do this on my own.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But the problem, like, there's one thing when you, like, oh, I'm going to go do this on my own. Like, Ian's kind of distancing himself with the family a little bit, and Lip was at least earlier. But this, you're talking about another human being that really, it's a baby. It doesn't have any sort of whatever skill set to be able to fend for itself.
Right.
And she's, it's one of the, she sucks at being a mother. And it's unfortunate, but
I don't think she's had any good example, and she's young. It's like, how would you know how to take care of a baby when you're that young? I think... To be honest, I think what we saw today actually wasn't that terrible.
Yeah.
I didn't think that it looked like she was that terrible. I think it looks like she's really freaking scared and needs some guidance, but I don't...
I like today's episode really tied a lot of stuff to today. Like when Mr. Winslow, which I still laugh at that name from Family Matters. Yeah. When he says, like, in order to have civic duty, you need to be able to have personal responsibility. And so in this scenario... She can't even take care of herself. Like, she can't even do her own studies. So how are you going to take care of another human being?
Right.
And she doesn't realize that yet.
Yeah, but the only problem is now it's here. The baby's here. What are you going to do? Figure it out. You got to figure it out now.
Get adopted by a rich family. Lesbians. The lesbians across the street. I'm telling you, they would love a baby. They take care of it.
Oh, how about those lesbians?
I have faith.
We'll talk about that. But yeah,
I have faith in her. Like I agree with you. Like I don't think I saw her being that terrible in this. I feel her being overwhelmed and like, I mean, if I had a baby on my own right now, I mean, that's just getting no sleep and having to do. I mean, I don't think it was smart for her to strap the baby on and head to school. I mean, that.
But
no,
JJ, you
that's
have
like
an
right after you have a baby.
education, you have a job, you have.
Well, right.
Yeah,
if JJ
yeah,
had a baby
true.
right now, she'd be okay. It might not be the ideal time. It might not be perfect. She'd be okay.
Yes, and she'd have your.
And she'd have a
she'd have
family
our
of
support.
support. Our support.
No, yeah, I think you're right. I mean, she was very naive to be so insistent that she could do all this, and when they were all trying to make her realize this is the reality, this is what you're gonna have to face when you are saying that you can have this baby on your own at this age. Like, yeah, you don't have a place to live, you don't have, job, all that stuff.
Right.
Yeah. So she needs to suck it up and admit that this is what she chose. She needs to ask for help.
Yeah.
She needs to.
Well, I think she needs to let Fiona in because Fiona knows more, obviously, even about the clogged, clot. I didn't know about any of that kind of stuff.
Phil,
Did you know you got a clogged clot that could stop you from breastfeeding?
little ibuprofen and
Nope.
hot bottle?
Nope.
Phil, did you know you can breastfeed?
I can breastfeed.
Did
your
you know
breasts get tender?
Men can breastfeed. You didn't know that?
This is like meet the parent type shit.
No, but I'm serious. I'm telling you now. Men can breastfeed.
I got nipples, Greg.
Yeah,
milk
can
me?
you milk me?
Yeah, I don't
The
know.
answer is yes. Just so you know, fun fact. Go Google it later.
All right, I will not be breastfeeding anyone.
But yeah, Fiona, she's trying to help. I'd like to see her let her in, but I think next episode's going to be heartbreaking for Fiona, so I don't think we're going to see Fiona in a good place for a while.
No. I'm not prepared to talk about that one.
Me
yet.
either.
Let's talk
So
about
let's
some
talk about it
lesbians.
Yeah.
Lesbians.
Phil, let's start with you on this one. We see Kev. Okay, ready? Let me set the scene. Kev has an erection, but he's confused, but he's so turned on, but he's like, no, my wife is now a lesbian, but like, ooh, this could be good. We could be in a threesome, but like, shit, I don't know if my wife
no
loves me
dudes.
anymore.
I agree, no dudes.
No other dudes. Okay.
No dudes.
Would you be turned on as well? Like, let's say you had a significant other and she came to you and was like, I want to start eating veg. Would you
I
be
want to
like,
carpet
let's
munch.
do it?
I mean, I think that'd be awesome.
Really? Like if you were
You'd partake?
If you were married, just got introduced into the situation. Would
Even if you were
be
fake
like,
married, but you're married. I mean, you're pretty much married.
Yeah.
I mean, he in his own way kind of has, I'm not going to say love, but he has feelings for Svetlana. You know what I mean? Like she's
Cares about you.
But not in that way.
not in that way, but she's taking care of the kids, right? Especially when V was not having the kids at all from last season. She was really there, and again, not necessarily like a sexual attraction, but it was that side that was missing from V.
Right. I mean, we can't forget that they've all already had sex. They went through that whole period where they were both having sex with Svetlana, and then finally told each other, and they were like, what? So now it's like all come full circle. They're all just going to do it together.
Yeah, I mean, it's, what? It spices things up, keeps things interesting. I can't ultimately be mad at it.
I like.
You're just glad you get to see more tits. Let's be honest about it.
I really think the lesbians across the street. Well, we didn't see that. I mean, we saw.
No
we saw
way they're
Svetlana's
going to have a fivesome. Is that where you're going?
Well, maybe. They can interchange lesbians.
That fuck calendar is getting busy. Like
that was hilarious. So yeah, scenes for next week when they're like, all right, Sunday it's Kevin V. Monday it's Kevin V and Svetlana. Tuesday will just be. And then he was like,
date night.
The problem with that is it's too structured. I think in order for this to work,
they just want to do it whenever.
Yeah, just a little more spontaneous, and because then it's like, well, when was the last time you slept with who? And it's like, oh, you know what? I better get it in now. Because it makes sense in my mind.
But if it's not scheduled,
I'm
then
glad
one
you're
might
thinking
get
about it a
one
lot.
might get more time than the other, and then that's going to start causing problems.
But again, then you make up for it.
No, what's going to happen is the immigration guy's going to walk in on all three of them having sex, and he's going to be like, "What the shit?"
I think that is going to happen in the finale. That's a good prediction.
Yes. Yeah, I'm sticking to
Or
it.
he'll look in the window or something. But yeah, they're going to get
And they're
busted,
all
all
going to be
three
doing
of
it.
them.
Or
And then
it's
that's how he'll leave them
or
alone.
It's just going to be Kevin and Svetlana or Kev and V, and he's going to be like,
I think you're right the first time. I think he's going to see all three of them, and then I think he's just going to be like, and leave.
Listen,
And then in the bloopers, Phil's
like,
in the background just watching.
I don't. Here's the thing with those guys. I don't think anything's bad. I think we're gonna push the Kevin V storyline and Svetlan's storyline a little bit off to the side for the finale. I think there's enough going on with the Gallaghers that we don't need to add something terrible for the season finale with these guys. Like maybe next season we can get that guy
even
back.
If that happens, though, still doesn't prove that they're not together. I mean, they could still be in love and be married and be together and want to have sex with Kev.
Yeah, but that's
Bullshit.
Adultery, right?
Yeah, but is that illegal with
Technically,
immigration?
right?
I feel like he's just going to see
I don't know
it.
anything about the
I don't know.
the rules of that.
I don't know.
But if they're all together, it's not adultery. They're all doing it together.
Swingers, I don't
That's
know.
why I don't see him carrying it on much into the next
You're right.
season.
This is getting ridiculous.
Anyway.
We have too many thoughts
we
about
take
this
lesbians
sexual part.
and
Shameless.
analyze them to the nth degree.
You're right. All right. Well, then we should let's talk about Frank trying to pay for stuff today. All of a sudden, like they've said, and like Lip said, he can't just decide to be a father when he wants to be. He comes in with all of his dirty money and starts to buy stuff for
Yeah,
Fiona's
and I'm
wedding.
kind of surprised she let him
Do it in the first place?
Yeah, I mean, I can see going okay with the flowers or whatever, but then once it got to the reception place and the food, I would have thought that she would have known right away, you know, this money can't be from anywhere good. She was so adamant about not using any of Carl's money, you know, knowing that that was from a bad place. So I'm surprised that she even was entertaining it for as long as she did.
I think she's in her own little wedding fantasy world where she's just that excited where it was like, okay, I don't have to pay for it. I'll let you do it.
Yeah.
Well, she saw that he was using Liam. But in terms of the Carl versus him thing, I mean, you know, Carl's redeemable. Or at least that's what she hopes. Frank at this point is just not. So if you know he's never going to
expects more from Carl.
Yeah, but it's one of those things. You know, I was also because of the larger money that he was able to get, and especially going to Mr. Delgado. You know, like right now, the baby needs the money. Like a wedding's nice, but you know what?
Right, like
just
that should be going to Debbie.
Yeah.
have it in the backyard. We'll have fun. We'll barbecue some things, and you know, great. There's your wedding. To plan a big wedding, like it is unfortunately as great as it would be for Fiona. It's very selfish.
Yeah, and you know what? And it was kind of all for Frank anyway, because it was all of his friends. You know, it was his people that he knew that was the guest list, and it was.
I liked his line of when you get new kitchen appliances, you get this. Like the bigger the
Send me
invite
a well-worded apology.
Yeah.
But I do think, though, you know, the whole selfish comment about Fiona, she was ready to grab her purse and start paying for things. Like at the reception hall, she went to go grab her purse when she thought that Frank wasn't going to be able to pay. So I think she thought she was going to somehow pay for all of this herself anyway. She was going to make it happen for herself. I don't think she ever
that's a good point.
expected Frank to
But
be able
not the
to
reception hall.
Yeah.
Well, the flowers, because she was trying to see how low they can go on the flowers. Then it got to $650, and she still seemed unsure.
But in the reception hall was when he started saying stuff like it sounded like he wasn't going to be able to pay. So she bent down, looked at her
Wait,
purse.
I think that was in the flowers.
It
wasn't
was because then he
that was in the flowers.
Because she got up right away at the reception and said, "I'm sorry, we waste your time."
Yeah, there was no way she was
right.
going
It
to
was the
pay.
flowers.
Okay, you're right. And
Yeah.
then he whipped out the envelope
Yeah.
of cash. Okay, so yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, either way, it looked like she was going to try to pay for everything by herself.
I mean, I think she wants a decent wedding, but I don't, you know, unfortunately, I don't think this is a wedding that you guys would fantasize about.
I don't even think the wedding's going to happen.
She has a dress on next week.
Oh, and it's so pretty. They made that ugly dress so nice. There's no way that's the same dress. But she looked gorgeous. All right, well, I just hope it doesn't happen at the wedding.
I don't know. I hope it doesn't happen at all.
Okay, so Frank gets the shit kicked out of him by Sean. Well, equally, they both got
I
the
think
shit kicked out of
Frank
each other.
actually was-
He looked like a good fighter, right?
Yeah.
Frank, I thought, had the upper hand for most of it.
I did too. I was very surprised at that.
Until
all
Paul
that
came
little.
along.
It's all that practice at the commune.
Carl in the chokehold. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
He's awesome.
That's how cops do it.
Yeah.
He's like obsessed with being a cop, and I love it.
Me too.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't surprise me that it happened because they hinted it to us a little bit last week in the season, in the previews for this week. But I didn't know exactly why it was happening. I'm not surprised at all by why it's happening, because Sean really does seem to be the only one that takes anything seriously. Like when the brick comes through the window, the kids are like, oh my God, like, and then they're okay because they're used to it, which sucks. But at the same time, they don't see why it should change, like why that's a problem.
What did you think about Fiona's reaction to what she said to Sean after that?
The ego part.
Yeah.
I don't disagree with it. I don't know. I mean, I kind of wish she would let someone stick up for her every once in a while. Like, I liked that Sean cared so much that he felt that adamant, and, you know, that really upset him, and it upset that he does break her heart. I do think she really doesn't have much of a heart with Frank anymore. I kind of agreed with her statement there, because he's done so much that she just doesn't even.
Yeah.
Do you think that's a front, though? That she doesn't get heartbroken by the stuff Frank does anymore?
I think it's a slight front, you know, because again, she's so in wedding land. And I think it is unfair of her to have said that's just this ego. Like, listen, at the end of the day, it's not about, like, the bet that you made. Yeah, sure, it would have been great to get, you know, a blowjob, but it's not what this is about. Like, there's legitimate, you know, there's bricks flying through. And you could say it's personal because his stuff's the stuff that's being taken, but it goes beyond that, you know. And again, because he's dealt with this his entire life, and he is recovering from that side of it himself. He knows, and this is not a healthy environment for anyone.
Yeah, I agree. I actually thought she was out of line on that one this time. Okay. Like, I felt like I didn't think it was about his ego. And I thought that it was about him sticking up for her, and agreed that I think that she should let him for once. And yeah, that he was like, that the situation is sick and unhealthy. There's a baby. A brick got thrown through the window. You know,
at the same time, the fight is no better than a brick being thrown through the window. There is a baby in the house. Yeah. I mean, all of that. It's still not.
Who started that fight, though?
Frank.
Yeah.
True.
You've headbutted
what
him.
What a headbutt, by the way. That sounded awful.
Punch somebody who headbutted me, too, in a situation like that.
That's very true.
I think, again.
You're right. He didn't start it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a tough one, because I guess I see where she's coming from, but at the same time, would like to just see her more vulnerable. I don't know.
And I mean, and Frank stirs up everything. I mean, him doing this stirred up Lip and stirred up, you know, it's like it's his ripple effect that again throws the whole family.
Oh yeah.
I mean, the family when they were all there, like holding the baby. I mean, Frank was there for that moment, but the moment where they're all there, you know, holding the baby, and it's like they can have these positive moments and really bond together, but then somehow actions that he always seems to stir everything up and get everybody back into that chaotic mode.
His selfishness.
Yeah. You know what? See, and that's the problem. Kevin B, they would usually be there for the Gallaghers, but they were too busy.
Getting it on.
Room.
We're gonna play pool.
No balls.
No balls. Yeah.
Just some holes. Oh God.
Now they can play real pool.
Yeah.
Sticks, balls, and holes.
Yeah. The whole shebang.
Ah, man.
Well, so Frank gets on a train because they kick him out. Fiona kicks him out. And we meet this dirtbag that's sitting on the train with him.
Bruno.
Straight up offers to kill his dirtbag almost son-in-law for a price. A very low price, by the way. If I had to kill someone, you'd be paying me a lot more than that. I wouldn't kill anyone.
Well, this is like strangers on a train without the reverse kill, which I thought was interesting. But it just goes to show that, again, Frank is so reactionary. He can never accept in his world that he is the one who's at fault.
Right. Yeah, I mean, that's true.
To go to that level, like it's one thing to be like, oh, he's, you know, my son-in-law, this and that, but you're gonna kill him.
Yeah, I agree. A whole new level on this one. It's just, I was like, no. Like, we're like, get off the train. Yeah.
I tweeted immediately, like, if this happens, I'm going to be so upset. I just want Fiona to get her happy ending.
I don't think that's happening.
I can't take it.
I don't know if that's ever possible with this show.
Yeah, and I just love them together. I mean, they're so good for each other.
So do you want to talk about what we were talking about with him, we were like, no, this can't happen. Then you were like, oh, it could. Well,
All right, spoiler alert, spoiler.
I mean, it's not a spoiler alert because we don't know, but JJ did a little research.
Yeah, but I know there are some people who get quite upset when we do some of this, so tune out for the next minute, let's say.
Spoiler alert!
I didn't know that happened.
The fly hit that button.
Yeah, it was the fly.
Well, we were just talking because we're like, no, they can't do that. Will they kill him like at the wedding? But we do know that Dermot Mulroney did just land a lead role in CBS has a new show called Bunker Hill. This would be great medical drama. So we're afraid that this could be his exit. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
say it ain't so, but. I don't know.
Spoiler alert, over.
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah, everyone's going to
done.
tune in at this exact moment.
They can't hear me because they're tuning out
over.
right now. Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I don't know. Do we want to get into some other predictions since we're there?
Let's do it.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Phil, you're first.
I think this season's not going to end well. It's only going to end well for Kevin V. But no, this episode was brutal, and I don't think it's getting better. You know, and in typical
I'm stressed.
Here's the thing.
Gotta be honest, I'm so stressed about it.
Their teasers are normally like, okay, like we get a couple things and they kind of give us some stuff. This was a twisted thing. For anyone who actually watches the previews, the juxtaposition between the music and the imagery and her like
In the wedding dress.
in the dress. Yeah. And then like we're pretty much like, I forget if it's the last shot, but we just see a gun. We don't see anything done with the gun. Yeah, I don't think this is going to be one sad, sadistic end to the season.
I mean, I'm gonna cry if that happens, and then I'll be crying on this show just so everyone knows in advance.
And I agree. I think it's not gonna go well. And I honestly, they could do another twist too, where then it's not Sean, but it's somebody else who steps in to Carl. I mean, that'd be terrible. I mean, somebody that steps in to try to save him or stop
Fiona.
Frank. But I definitely think somebody's going down.
I mean, we haven't had a death in a while. No,
Here's the thing.
guys.
I know. Like usually I'm excited for the next week, and now I'm kind of like, I don't know if I want to see it.
And there's some
I mean,
some characters too where you're always like, I could care less if he gets killed off.
Yeah.
Let's kill that guy off. This is not one of them. I like him. I like him.
He's a good guy. He's a good guy. But I don't know how Frank's gonna. How do you like call this off?
Well, do you think that'll happen? Like Frank, this is all, and then he rethinks about it after he sees Fiona, and he's like, "Shit, I gotta stop it," and then it just doesn't stop.
I mean, that's another option too. I mean, just because she did kind of turn on him in this episode, so he could just say, "Enough, your family's too effed up. I'm out," and leave her at the altar, and then she's crushed.
That would be the safest choice for him. Yeah.
What would be even worse is if he did that and then the guy killed him. So not only did he
that'd be
leave
double,
her,
and
then he died.
That'd be terrible.
Holy shit.
I don't see. I mean, I don't see anything good happening for Lip. Like, what are they going to tell him? Like, oh, great, you're back in college, scholarship's still on.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I think
what?
he's getting expelled.
Yeah, I do.
I don't like this baby. Don't like this baby one bit.
You think it's a curse?
I think it's a curse, and I want it gone
devil
somewhere.
child.
Like I just want to hope like honestly, like the lesbians is the best thing that I could see happening for it. I don't think they would do something drastic with the baby, but
I don't think the lesbians are adopting the baby. At least not this season.
I don't either, but I agree with you that would be an amazing option.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to see this baby
child.
crying for the next season. That's just stop. I don't want to see it. No more babies.
Unless they're Venus and Serena. And they're pro tennis players.
Yes.
Yeah. Any other predictions?
No, I only have another little news and gossip.
Fact, do it.
Fun
Let's
fact
do it.
for all of you who love Gus like we do. I don't know if any of you watch Nashville, but if you want a little more Gus action, he is now on Nashville. So
Yeah.
I don't know if he's going to be
Singing a Fiona
singing
song.
Fuck Fiona there, but yeah. Probably not on Nashville, but you know.
Well, he will.
Yeah, he will be singing though.
a lot.
Yeah, so great. We loved his songs on Shameless, so
Yeah.
looking forward to seeing
I'm excited.
hearing more.
That's Wednesday nights, right?
Yes.
Cool. And then I think you're on their after show. JJ.
Oh, I am. Oh.
Look at that.
So follow
You can
JJ
watch-
on that other after show
Yeah,
channel.
since this one's ending next week, you can come. We have some fun on the Nashville one.
Yeah.
So.
It's a good break from the seriousness. of
Yeah,
this.
it's a lot different than this one.
There's a little bit more singing.
Lighthearted.
There's
Less
a little more
F words.
singing. There's still some
There's drama.
dark shit
There
in that,
is.
but not as much as Shameless.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen, I've never seen a titty on Nashville, okay?
Well, that's why you don't watch it. Phil.
You're right. Well,
right.
actually, that's been one of our complaints that they don't get.
I would complain
they
too.
don't get- They're not just titty, but
JJ's like, "Where's the tits?"
hey, you know I already like the penis. I said it a few episodes ago. More penis.
I don't know what it is, but we can't help ourselves. We can't let this panel go unless we talk about a dick or a tit.
Okay, listen, because we're there, and thank you for anyone who's... Feel free to tune out at this point. We're just going. But last episode, by popular demand, apparently, there was a dick. How did you feel?
There
did you like
was
the
a
dick?
Yeah. I am always up for seeing some dick. You know.
Okay. I can't share that
love it,
sentiment, but
You gotta love her.
I did
It's just fair, Phil. It's just fair. That's all it was.
Yeah.
It's fair.
Hey, listen, you got Steve Howie dancing. I thought that was fair enough. He was into it. He was grooving.
That was nice too. That
I
was
enjoyed
nice.
that as well.
Well, you know what I had to do on that dick though, I gotta say, because when it first plopped,
That was just what you. Okay.
I was like, was that pierced? So I had to like totally rewind and
Zoom
pause
in.
it. Yeah, and I'm like, oh my gosh. And then
Totally
they talked
pierced.
about it later, but I was like, I knew it was because I gotta say, I've never seen one of those before. So.
I always have terrible transitions or say things that I don't mean, and that was one of them, and it wasn't me.
Can you top it?
I might. I don't know. I don't mean to top it, but it could happen.
All right, maybe next week.
Maybe next week. We good? On that note, we're good.
I think we
Face
talked
feels
about
so
everything.
red
we
right now.
will leave you with the image of dicks and tits until next week, because we'll probably all be crying.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Agreed?
Gotta end on a high
Yeah.
note.
Yeah. Guys, thank you for tuning in. Keep commenting on AfterBuzz and subscribe if you haven't. That way you can watch all of the amazing after shows that AfterBuzz has to offer. Obviously, this one is the best, so stick with us for next week. And thank you for watching. Again, we love you. Goodbye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.